There is a text over 5,000 years old that describes the universe emerging from a single point of vibration. It describes cosmic cycles lasting billions of years. It describes 14 dimensions of reality. It describes consciousness as the foundation of all existence. When modern scientists read these descriptions, they went silent, because what this ancient text describes is disturbingly similar to what quantum physics, string theory, and cosmology have only discovered in the last century. That text is the Shiva Purana, and what it reveals about creation, destruction, time, energy, and the nature of your own consciousness will completely change how you understand reality. In the next few minutes, you will discover why a statue of Shiva stands at CERN, the most advanced particle physics laboratory on Earth. You will understand the true meaning behind the most misunderstood symbol in Hinduism. You will learn the precise mechanics of what happens to your consciousness after death. And you will uncover the secret practice that ancient sages used to transcend the limitations of human existence. But first, I need to ask you a question. What if everything you learned about the universe is incomplete? What if an ancient civilization understood truths about reality that we are only now beginning to rediscover? Let us begin. What is the Shiva Purana? The Shiva Purana is not a religious book in the way you might imagine. It is not a collection of fairy tales or mythological stories meant to entertain. It is one of the 18 Mahapuranas, the great ancient texts of India, composed by the legendary sage Vyasa, the same sage credited with compiling the Vedas and writing the Mahabharata. But unlike other Puranas that cover multiple deities and topics, the Shiva Purana is dedicated entirely to a single investigation, the fundamental nature of reality itself. Originally, the Shiva Purana contained 12 samhitas, 12 complete sections encompassing hundreds of thousands of verses. But after millennia of invasions, natural disasters, and the simple passage of time, only 7 samhitas survived to the present day. These 7 surviving sections are the Vijeshvara Samhita, which discusses the nature of Shiva and the importance of worship. The Rudra Samhita, which contains the stories of Shiva's manifestations and his cosmic activities. The Shatrudra Samhita, which details the hymns and prayers to Shiva. The Koti Rudra Samhita, which describes the millions of forms of Rudra. The Uma Samhita, which focuses on the goddess and her relationship with Shiva. The Kailasa Samhita, which reveals the secrets of liberation and yogic practices. And the Vayavya Samhita, which contains teachings on cosmology and the structure of existence. Even in its incomplete form, what remains is extraordinary. These sections cover the creation and dissolution of the universe, the different manifestations of cosmic consciousness, the true meaning of life and death, the precise mechanics of karma and rebirth, the teachings of dharma and ethical living, the transformative power of devotion, and profound yogic sciences that describe the energy systems within the human body. What makes this text fundamentally different from other scriptures is its structure and intent. The Shiva Purana was not written as entertainment or even as mythology in the modern sense. It was written as a systematic manual for understanding existence. It presents a complete cosmological framework, a detailed psychology of consciousness, and a practical methodology for spiritual transformation. The text itself claims that anyone who studies the Shiva Purana with sincerity will attain both worldly success and ultimate liberation. But more importantly, they will understand the true nature of reality itself. The origin of everything, before the Big Bang. The Shiva Purana begins with a statement that seemed impossible to verify for thousands of years, but that modern science is now beginning to confirm. Before creation, nothing existed. No light, no darkness, no time, no space, no matter, no energy in any form we could recognize. There was only Shiva, pure consciousness, absolute awareness without any object of awareness. The text calls this primordial state by several names, each revealing a different aspect of this ultimate reality. Nishkala Shiva means Shiva without parts, without division, without any differentiation whatsoever. Nirguna Brahman means the absolute reality beyond all qualities, beyond all descriptions, beyond anything the human mind can conceive. Shuddha Chaitanya means pure awareness, consciousness in its most fundamental and undiluted form. This state is described as eternal, unchanging, and complete in itself. It needs nothing. It lacks nothing. It simply is. And then something extraordinary happened. The Purana says that creation begins when this silent, infinite consciousness manifests a vibration. not a physical vibration, but a primordial impulse, an initial movement within the stillness. This vibration is called nada, the primordial sound, the first expression of the Absolute. This nada is not sound as we understand it. It is the fundamental frequency of existence itself, the first differentiation within undifferentiated consciousness. The text describes it as the cosmic hum that underlies all of reality, the sound that exists before and behind all other sounds. This nada then concentrates into bindu, literally meaning point or dot. Bindu is the first localization, the first concentration of infinite potential into a specific point of manifestation. It is the seed from which the entire universe will emerge. From nada and bindu emerges Shakti, the divine energy, the dynamic power of consciousness that initiates the play of creation. While Shiva remains the unchanging witness, the eternal consciousness, Shakti becomes the force that creates, maintains, and dissolves all phenomena. The text presents this as a fundamental equation: Shiva plus Shakti equals the universe. Consciousness plus energy equals all of manifest reality. Now consider what modern physics tells us. The universe began from a singularity, a point of infinite density and zero dimension. From this single point emerged all space, time, matter, and energy through a rapid expansion. The cosmic microwave background radiation, discovered in 1965, is essentially a residual vibration from this primordial event, a cosmic hum that pervades all of space. A text thousands of years old describing the universe arising from a single point through primordial vibration and expanding through the interplay of consciousness and energy. The parallels are not merely interesting, they are profound. The 5 cosmic acts, the eternal dance of reality. The Shiva Purana explains that Shiva continuously performs 5 cosmic actions that govern all of existence. These are called Panchakritya, the 5 acts, and understanding them reveals the fundamental mechanics of reality. The first act is Srishti, creation. This is not creation from nothing, but rather the projection of potential into actuality. Just as a spider projects a web from its own substance, consciousness projects the universe from itself. Every galaxy, every star, every atom, every thought is an expression of this creative impulse. The second act is Sthiti, preservation or maintenance. Once created, the universe does not simply continue by itself. It requires constant sustaining. The laws of physics, the forces that hold atoms together, the gravity that maintains planetary orbits, all of these are expressions of Sthiti. Every moment, existence is being actively maintained. The third act is Samhara, dissolution or destruction. This is not destruction in a negative sense, but rather the necessary recycling that allows for new creation. Stars die to create the heavy elements needed for planets and life. Cells die so organisms can grow and heal. Old forms dissolve so new forms can emerge. Without destruction, creation would stagnate. The fourth act is Tirobhava, concealment or veiling. This is perhaps the most mysterious of the 5 acts. It refers to the power that makes the infinite appear finite, that makes the one appear as many, that makes eternal consciousness appear as temporary individual selves. It is the illusion that makes you believe you are separate from the universe rather than an expression of it. The fifth act is Anugraha, grace or revelation. This is the opposite of concealment, the power that removes the veil and reveals the truth. It is the force that draws seekers toward awakening, that creates the conditions for realization, that ultimately liberates consciousness from its self-imposed limitations. These 5 actions are not performed sequentially but simultaneously and eternally. At every moment, in every corner of existence, creation, preservation, destruction, concealment, and revelation are all occurring. Here is the crucial insight that separates the Shiva Purana from simpler religious texts. Shiva is not a person performing these actions from some heavenly realm. The text explicitly states that these actions happen automatically through the inherent laws and patterns of existence. Shiva is not doing these things. Shiva is these things. The 5 acts are the natural expression of conscious energy operating according to its own nature. This is precisely why Shiva is symbolized as Nataraja, the Lord of Dance, the cosmic dancer whose eternal movement is the movement of the universe itself. Every element of the Nataraja image encodes profound meaning. The dance itself represents the continuous movement of creation and dissolution. The circle of fire surrounding the dancer represents the cycle of existence, the wheel of time and karma. The damaru, the small drum in one hand, represents nada, the primordial sound from which creation emerges. The fire, in another hand, represents the power of dissolution. The raised hand in the gesture of fearlessness represents the protection and preservation of those who understand. The foot raised represents liberation, the lifting of the soul from bondage. The foot pressing down upon a small figure represents the crushing of ignorance and forgetfulness. In 2004, a 2-meter statue of Nataraja was unveiled at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research, where the Large Hadron Collider probes the fundamental structure of matter. The gift from the Indian government was accompanied by a plaque explaining the connection between Shiva's cosmic dance and the dance of subatomic particles. The physicist Fritjof Capra, in his influential book The Tao of Physics, wrote extensively about this parallel, noting that modern physics pictures matter not as passive and inert but as continuously dancing and vibrating. For the modern physicists, Shiva's dance is the dance of subatomic matter. This was not a poetic comparison. It was recognition that an ancient text had somehow intuited truths about the nature of reality that required billion-dollar particle accelerators to verify. The forms of Shiva, from formless to form. The Shiva Purana presents a sophisticated understanding of how the Absolute manifests in relative reality. It explains Shiva through 2 fundamental categories that bridge the gap between transcendent truth and accessible experience. The first category is Nirguna Shiva, Shiva without qualities. This is the highest truth, the ultimate reality beyond all description and conception. It cannot be seen because it is the seer. It cannot be thought because it is the thinker. It cannot be touched because it is not an object but the subject underlying all objects. It is everywhere and nowhere, everything and nothing, eternal and beyond time. This is Shiva as pure consciousness, the absolute that the Upanishads call Brahman. The second category is Saguna Shiva, Shiva with qualities. These are the forms through which the formless becomes accessible, the ways the infinite makes itself available to finite minds. The text emphasizes that these forms are not illusions or lesser realities. They are genuine expressions of the Absolute, doorways through which seekers can approach the unapproachable. The Shiva Purana describes numerous forms, each embodying specific aspects of cosmic consciousness. Maheshwara is the Great Lord, the creator of the 5 elements from which all matter is formed. Earth, water, fire, air, and space emerge from Maheshwara's creative power, and all physical reality is simply the combination and recombination of these fundamental elements. Rudra is the fierce form, the god of storms and transformation. Rudra represents the sometimes violent process by which old forms are dissolved to make way for new ones. Disease, death, natural disasters, these are Rudra's domain, not as punishment but as necessary transformation. Bhairava is the protector of time, often depicted as fierce and terrifying. Bhairava guards the boundaries of existence and is associated with the moment of death, when the soul transitions from one state to another. The Shiva Purana describes 8 primary Bhairavas, each governing different aspects of time and karma. Ardhanarishvara is perhaps the most philosophically significant form, literally the Lord who is half woman. In this form, Shiva and Shakti are shown as one being, the right side male and the left side female. This is not merely a symbol of gender equality but a representation of the fundamental unity of consciousness and energy, the static and dynamic aspects of existence, the transcendent and immanent faces of the Absolute. Dakshinamurti is Shiva as the silent teacher, depicted as a young sage sitting beneath a banyan tree, teaching through silence while elderly disciples sit at his feet. This form represents the transmission of knowledge beyond words, the direct recognition of truth that occurs when the mind becomes still. But among all forms, the Shiva Linga holds special significance in the Shiva Purana, and it is also the most profoundly misunderstood symbol in Hinduism. The mystery of the Linga, the infinite pillar. The Shiva Purana dedicates extensive passages to explaining the true meaning of the Linga, and its explanation demolishes centuries of misinterpretation. The text states clearly that Linga does not refer to any anatomical form. The word Linga in Sanskrit means sign, symbol, or mark. It refers to that by which something can be recognized or inferred. The Shiva Linga is the sign by which the formless can be recognized, the symbol through which the infinite makes itself available to contemplation. The Purana explains that the Linga represents the infinite universe, the formless source from which all forms emerge. It is described as having no beginning and no end, no top and no bottom. It is the cosmic pillar, the axis of existence around which all reality revolves. The shape itself is significant. Unlike images with faces and limbs that suggest a limited, located being, the linga's abstract form points toward that which cannot be limited or located. It is the form of the formless, the shape of that which has no shape. The Shiva Purana narrates a profound story to illustrate this truth. Once, Brahma the creator and Vishnu the preserver fell into an argument about which of them was supreme. Each claimed to be the highest god, the ultimate reality. As their dispute intensified, a column of blazing light suddenly appeared between them. It was a massive pillar of fire, a Jyotirlinga, extending infinitely in both directions. It had no visible top and no visible bottom. Brahma, taking the form of a swan, flew upward trying to find the top of the pillar. He flew for eons, yet the pillar extended ever further. Vishnu, taking the form of a boar, burrowed downward trying to find the base. He dug for ages, yet the pillar continued without end. Finally, both returned, humbled and exhausted. They realized that this pillar of light represented Shiva, the infinite reality that transcends both creation and preservation, both beginning and end. Neither Brahma nor Vishnu, despite their cosmic powers, could compass the limitless. This story is not merely mythology. It is a teaching about the nature of the absolute. Any attempt to find the boundaries of ultimate reality will fail because the ultimate has no boundaries. It cannot be circumscribed by thought, measured by any instrument, or contained by any concept. This is why the 12 Jyotirlinga temples across India are considered the most sacred Shiva sites. Each Jyotirlinga is believed to be a place where this infinite pillar of light manifested spontaneously, a point where the formless touched the world of form. The 12 Jyotirlingas are Somnath in Gujarat, associated with the moon and the healing of the moon god. Mallikarjuna in Andhra Pradesh, where Shiva appeared as a jasmine-white mountain of light. Mahakaleshwar in Ujjain, the lord of time who governs death and transcendence. Omkareshwar on an island in the Narmada river, shaped like the sacred syllable Om. Kedarnath high in the Himalayas, accessible only through arduous pilgrimage. Bhimashankar in Maharashtra, where Shiva defeated the demon Bhima. Kashi Vishwanath in Varanasi, the lord of the universe in the city of light. Trimbakeshwar near the source of the Godavari river. Vaidyanath in Jharkhand, the lord of physicians. Nagwar in Gujarat, associated with victory over serpent demons. Rameshwaram in Tamil Nadu, established by Lord Rama himself, and Grishneshwar near the Ellora caves. Each Jyotirlinga represents a different aspect of Shiva's infinite nature, a different doorway into the limitless. Pilgrimage to all 12 is considered one of the highest spiritual accomplishments, not because of the physical journey but because of what the journey represents, an approach toward the infinite through its various finite expressions. The secret of Shakti, the power behind existence. The Shiva Purana dedicates extensive sections to a truth that many overlook: Shiva cannot function without Shakti. This is not a statement about dependency but about the fundamental structure of reality. The text explains with great precision. Shiva is consciousness, the pure awareness that knows. Shakti is energy, the dynamic power that moves and creates. They are not two separate things but two aspects of one reality, like fire and its capacity to burn, like the ocean and its waves. Without Shakti, Shiva remains in eternal stillness, pure consciousness with nothing to be conscious of. Without Shiva, Shakti would be blind force without awareness or direction. Together, they constitute existence itself. The Purana presents a striking image. Shiva without Shakti is Shava, a corpse. The wordplay is intentional. Remove the I, the dynamic energy, from Shiva, and what remains is inert, lifeless. This is why Shiva is often depicted with Shakti standing or dancing upon him. It is not subordination but activation, energy bringing consciousness into expression. This is why Hindu temples almost always include both Shiva and the goddess, whether as Parvati, Durga, Kali, or another form. The worship of one without the other would be incomplete because reality itself is incomplete without both consciousness and energy. The Shiva Purana describes numerous forms of Shakti, each representing different aspects of this divine power. Parvati is the gentle form, representing devotion, love, fertility, and the nurturing aspects of existence. She is the daughter of the mountain Himalaya, and her patient austerities to win Shiva as her husband form one of the great love stories of Hindu tradition. Durga is the warrior form, representing strength, protection, and the power to overcome obstacles. She rides a lion or tiger and carries weapons in her many arms, representing the divine power that destroys evil and protects creation. Kali is the fierce form, representing transformation, time, and the ultimate dissolution of all forms. She is often depicted as terrifying, with a garland of skulls and a tongue dripping blood, but her ferocity is directed against ignorance and ego, not against devotees. Gauri is the golden one, representing purity, auspiciousness, and the blessings of married life. Lalita Tripura Sundari is the beautiful one, representing the supreme beauty that underlies all manifest forms, the aesthetic dimension of the Absolute. The Shiva Purana emphasizes that these are not different goddesses but different aspects of one Shakti, the one divine energy expressing itself in countless ways according to need and circumstance. The union of Shiva and Shakti is not a physical or even mythological event. It is a cosmic principle, the eternal balance between stillness and movement, potential and actuality, being and becoming. Every moment of existence is this union. Every breath you take is the marriage of consciousness and energy. The 14 worlds, the structure of existence. The Shiva Purana presents a cosmology that sounds remarkably like modern theories of multiple dimensions and parallel universes. According to the text, existence comprises 14 lokas or worlds, 7 ascending and 7 descending from the earthly plane. These are not physical locations in space but dimensions of existence, realms characterized by different frequencies of consciousness and different types of experience. The 7 upper worlds begin with Bhaloka, the earthly realm, the physical dimension we inhabit. Above this is Bhuvaloka, the atmospheric realm, inhabited by subtle beings and spirits. Then Svaloka, the celestial realm, the heaven of the Devas where virtuous souls enjoy the rewards of good karma. Mahaloka is the realm of great saints and sages who have transcended ordinary existence. Janaloka is the realm of the sons of Brahma, beings of vast spiritual attainment. Tapaloka is the realm of supreme austerity, inhabited by those whose spiritual fire burns away all limitation. And finally Satyaloka, the realm of truth, the highest heaven, where Brahma himself resides. The 7 lower worlds descend into increasingly dense and dark realms. Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasatala, and finally Patala, the nethermost realm. These are not hells in the punitive sense but realms of existence characterized by increasing ignorance and bondage. The Shiva Purana explains that souls move between these realms according to their karma and consciousness. A person of great virtue and spiritual development might ascend to higher lokas after death, while one bound by ignorance and destructive actions might descend. But the text emphasizes that all these realms are temporary. Even the highest heaven is not permanent liberation. Souls eventually return to lower realms when their karmic merit is exhausted. Beyond all 14 lokas is the realm of Shiva, beyond all coming and going, beyond all karma and rebirth. This is not a place but a state, the recognition of one's true nature as consciousness itself. The Purana also describes cycles of time on a scale that makes geological ages seem brief. Time is divided into yugas, ages of the world. The 4 yugas, Satya, Treta, Dvapara, and Kali, form one Mahayuga of 4,320,000 human years. 1,000 Mahayugas equal 1 Kalpa, a day of Brahma, lasting 4.32 billion years. At the end of each Kalpa, the universe undergoes partial dissolution, only to be recreated when Brahma awakens. A complete life of Brahma lasts 311 trillion years, after which the entire universe dissolves completely into the Absolute, only to be created again by a new Brahma in the endless cycle. Modern cosmology estimates the age of our universe at approximately 13.8 billion years and suggests it may eventually end in heat death, a big crunch, or other cosmic endings, after which new universes might emerge. The parallels with the cyclic cosmology of the Shiva Purana are striking. The path of liberation, yoga and the transformation of consciousness. The Shiva Purana is not merely cosmological speculation. It is fundamentally practical, offering detailed guidance on how to transform consciousness and attain liberation while still living in a human body. The text describes 4 primary paths of Shiva Yoga, each suited to different temperaments and capacities. Jnana Yoga is the path of knowledge, suited to those of intellectual temperament. It involves deep inquiry into the nature of reality, discrimination between the permanent and impermanent, and the recognition that one's true self is not the body, mind, or ego but pure consciousness itself. The Shiva Purana recommends studying scripture, contemplating profound questions, and engaging in dialogue with realized teachers. Bhakti Yoga is the path of devotion, suited to those of emotional temperament. It involves cultivating intense love for Shiva, seeing the divine in all things, and surrendering the ego to the cosmic will. The text emphasizes that pure devotion can achieve in moments what dry practice requires years to attain. Kriya Yoga is the path of action and energy, suited to those of practical temperament. It involves specific practices for purifying the body and mind, controlling the breath, awakening dormant energies, and directing consciousness through the subtle energy centers called chakras. Raja Yoga is the royal path, the path of meditation, suited to those who can focus the mind with single-pointed attention. It involves systematic practices for withdrawing attention from external objects, concentrating on chosen points of focus, and eventually dissolving the mind into pure awareness. The Shiva Purana does not present these as competing paths but as complementary aspects of a complete spiritual life. Most seekers will benefit from some combination of knowledge, devotion, energy practice, and meditation. The text is remarkably specific about the obstacles that block spiritual progress: karma or desire, krodha or anger, lobha or greed, moha or delusion, mada or pride, and matsarya or envy. These 6 enemies of the soul keep consciousness bound to lower states and prevent the recognition of its true nature. But the Shiva Purana is not pessimistic about the human condition. It declares with confidence that liberation is possible for anyone, regardless of birth, caste, gender, or past actions. The only requirement is sincerity, the genuine desire for truth and the willingness to practice. The text even describes the possibility of Jivanmukti, liberation while still living. The Jivanmukta continues to inhabit a body, to eat, sleep, and function in the world, but knows with certainty that their true identity is not the body or mind but consciousness itself. They live in the world but are not bound by it. The power of devotion, stories of transformation. The Shiva Purana includes numerous stories that illustrate how devotion works in practice. These are not fairy tales but teaching stories, each encoding profound truths about the path to liberation. The story of Kanapa is among the most famous. Kanapa was a hunter, a man of low caste who killed animals for his living, about as far from conventional holiness as one could imagine. But he had an overwhelming love for Shiva. He discovered a Shiva Linga in the forest and began worshipping it daily. Having no knowledge of proper rituals, he brought what he had: water carried in his mouth because he had no vessel, meat from his hunting because he had no other food, flowers from the forest that he had tested by smelling them first. One day, he saw that one of the eyes on the face of the linga was bleeding. Without hesitation, he gouged out his own eye and placed it on the linga to replace the bleeding one. When the second eye began to bleed, he prepared to blind himself completely, placing his toe on the linga so he would know where to put his second eye after he could no longer see. At that moment, Shiva appeared and stopped him, blessing him as one of the greatest devotees. The point of the story is clear. Shiva does not care about external purity, ritual perfection, or social status. He cares only about the purity of devotion, the sincerity of the heart. The story of Markandeya is equally powerful. Markandeya was destined to die at age 16 due to a curse. His parents, devastated, told him the truth when he came of age. Rather than despair, Markandeya devoted himself entirely to Shiva worship. On his 16th birthday, as Yama, the Lord of Death, came to claim him, Markandeya clung to the Shiva Linga. When Yama cast his noose to drag away the boy's soul, the noose also encircled the linga. Shiva emerged in his fierce form and struck down Yama, declaring that his devotee would be eternally 16, never to age or die. The story teaches that devotion to Shiva can overcome even death itself. Not through denial of death, but through identification with that which never dies. Even Ravana, the great demon king who abducted Sita and was killed by Rama, was a devotee of Shiva. Despite his many crimes, his sincere devotion earned him spiritual merit. The Shiva Purana uses this example to show that Shiva's grace is available even to the most flawed beings. These stories all point to the same truth. Shiva is called Ashutosh, one who is easily pleased, and Bolanath, the innocent lord. Unlike gods who demand elaborate rituals and strict adherence to rules, Shiva responds to sincerity. Even a simple Om Namah Shivaya, the 5-syllable mantra meaning I bow to Shiva, spoken with genuine feeling, is enough to establish connection with the infinite. The mystery of death, what the Purana reveals. One of the most profound sections of the Shiva Purana concerns death and what lies beyond. This is not vague speculation but detailed description of a process that every being will eventually undergo. According to the text, at the moment of death, the physical body begins its return to the 5 elements from which it was formed. Earth returns to earth, water to water, fire to fire, air to air, space to space. The gross body, which was only ever a temporary vehicle, dissolves completely. But the individual does not simply cease to exist. The subtle body, composed of mind, intellect, and the impressions of all past actions, continues. This subtle body carries the complete karmic record, the sum total of all actions, thoughts, and intentions from this life and all previous lives. The journey after death depends entirely on this karmic balance and on the state of consciousness at the moment of death. The Shiva Purana describes various pathways. Those of great spiritual attainment, who have realized their identity with Shiva, do not enter any pathway. They simply dissolve into the infinite, like a drop of water returning to the ocean. For them, there is no journey because there is nowhere to go. They recognize that they have always been what they truly are. Those of great virtue and devotion travel upward toward the higher lokas, realms of light and beauty where they enjoy the fruits of their positive karma. But this enjoyment, however long it lasts, is eventually exhausted. When the karmic merit is depleted, the soul returns to lower realms for further experience. Those bound by attachment and ignorance may remain for a time in intermediate states, unable to move forward or return. They may experience purgatorial states where karmic debts are balanced through suffering. Those whose actions have been predominantly harmful descend toward lower realms where they experience the consequences of their actions. But the Shiva Purana is clear that these are not eternal punishments. They are educational experiences, opportunities to learn what could not be learned otherwise. Eventually, nearly all souls return to earthly birth to continue their journey toward liberation. The circumstances of rebirth, including family, body, talents, and challenges, are determined precisely by karma. Nothing is random. Nothing is unjust. Every condition is the result of previous causes. The Shiva Purana emphasizes that the moment of death is crucial. Whatever the mind is focused on at the final moment becomes a powerful determinant of what follows. This is why spiritual practitioners are encouraged to keep their attention on Shiva always, so that at the moment of death, that focus is natural and spontaneous. Modern research on near-death experiences has documented many elements that align with these descriptions. The experience of leaving the body, encounters with beings of light, life review in which all actions are seen and understood, movement through tunnels or passageways, and eventual return or continuation. The parallels are too numerous to dismiss as coincidence. The promise of the Shiva Purana. The Shiva Purana concludes with a message of extraordinary hope and challenge. The hope is this: liberation is available to everyone. Not after death, not in some future life, but here and now, in this very body, in this very moment. The text declares that anyone who truly understands Shiva understands themselves, because Shiva is not external to you. Shiva is the deepest dimension of your own being. Your body is made of the 5 elements that Shiva projected forth. Your energy is Shakti, the dynamic aspect of the divine. Your awareness, the simple fact that you exist and know that you exist, is Shiva himself. There is nothing in you that is not divine. The challenge is equally clear. This understanding must be realized, not merely believed. Intellectual acceptance of these truths, however sophisticated, is not liberation. The Shiva Purana demands actual transformation, the genuine dissolution of the ego that separates you from your true nature. The text says, your mind is Shakti, your consciousness is Shiva. When they unite, life becomes complete. This union is not something that must be achieved because it is already the case. It must simply be recognized. The final secret of the Shiva Purana is deceptively simple. Shiva is not a god to be feared. Shiva is not a deity to be worshipped from a distance. Shiva is a truth to be realized, the truth of your own nature. Consider what we have explored together. A text composed thousands of years before modern science described the universe emerging from a single point through primordial vibration. It described cosmic cycles lasting billions of years, matching our best estimates of the universe's age. It described multiple dimensions of existence at a time when such ideas were unimaginable. It described consciousness as fundamental to reality, a position that cutting-edge physics is only now beginning to consider. This was not lucky guessing. This was not coincidence. This was profound insight into the nature of reality itself, achieved through contemplation, meditation, and direct experience rather than through instruments and mathematics. Every heartbeat of your life is powered by the same cosmic force that ignites stars and holds galaxies together. Every breath is the dance of Shiva and Shakti, consciousness and energy in eternal embrace. Every moment is the 5 cosmic acts playing out on the stage of your own experience. You are not a small, separate being lost in an indifferent universe. You are the universe knowing itself. You are Shiva pretending to be something less than Shiva. And the only thing preventing you from realizing this is the veil of forgetfulness, Tirobhava, which is itself part of the cosmic play. The Shiva Purana was not written to create believers. It was written to create realizers. It does not ask for faith. It asks for investigation. It does not demand worship. It invites recognition. So I ask you, after everything you have heard today, do you think Shiva is merely a myth, a cultural artifact from a pre-scientific age? Or is the Shiva Purana a record of the most advanced truth about reality that humanity has ever articulated? The question itself is part of the journey. Ha ha Mahadev. If this exploration has opened something in you, if you felt even a moment of recognition, then you understand why I create this content. Every week, I dive deep into the ancient wisdom traditions, not as academic curiosity but as practical guidance for understanding who we really are. Subscribe to this channel and activate the notification bell so you never miss a video. Share this with someone who is ready to question everything they think they know about reality. Leave a comment telling me what you want to explore next. And remember, the search for truth is not something you do. It is something you are. See you in the next one.